human diversity is about and why I wrote it. The sciences form a hierarchy. Physics rests on mathematics, chemistry on physics, biology on chemistry, and in principle, the social sciences on biology, wrote evolutionary biologist Robert Trivers. If so, this century should be an exhilarating time to be a social scientist. Until now, we social scientists, for I am a member of that tribe, have been second-class citizens of the scientific world, limited to data and methods that cast doubt on our claim to be truly part of the scientific project. Now, new possibilities are opening up. Biology is not going to put us out of business. The new knowledge that geneticists and neuroscientists are providing, conjoined with the kinds of analyses we do best, will enable us to take giant strides in understanding how societies, polities, and economies really function. We are like physicists at the outset of the 19th century, who were poised at a moment in history that would produce Amperes and Faradays. We ought to be excited, but we aren't. Trivers again. Yet discipline after discipline, from economics to cultural anthropology, continues to resist growing connections to the underlying science of biology, with devastating effects. Why the resistance? Because the social sciences have been in the grip of an orthodoxy that is scared stiff of biology. The orthodoxy. The core doctrine of the orthodoxy in the social sciences is a particular understanding of human equality. I don't mean equality in the sense of America's traditional ideal. All are equal in the eyes of God, have equal inherent dignity, and should be treated equally under the law. But equality in the sense of sameness. Call it the sameness premise. In a properly run society, people of all human groupings will have similar life outcomes. Individuals might have differences in abilities, the orthodoxy usually acknowledges, but groups do not have inborn differences in the distributions of those abilities, except for undeniable ones such as height, upper body strength, and skin color. Inside the cranium, all groups are the same. The sameness premise theoretically applies to any method of grouping people, but three of them have dominated the discussion for a long time: gender, race, and socioeconomic class. Rephrased in terms of those groups, the sameness premise holds that whatever their gender, race, or the class they are born into, people in every group should become electrical engineers, nurture toddlers, win chess tournaments, and write sci-fi novels in roughly equal proportions. They should have similar distributions of family income, mental health, and life expectancy. Large group differences in these life outcomes are prima facie evidence of social, cultural, and governmental defects that can be corrected by appropriate public policy. The intellectual origins of the orthodoxy go back more than 3 centuries to the early days of the Enlightenment and the concept of humans as blank slates. The explicit rejection of a role for biology in the social sciences occurred from the end of the 19th through the beginning of the 20th centuries, with the leading roles played by Emil Durkheim in sociology, Franz Boas in anthropology, and John Watson in psychology. The political expression of the orthodoxy had its origins in the mid-1960s, with the legal triumphs of the civil rights movement and the rise of feminism. In the beginning, the orthodoxy consisted of specific allegations and solutions. Racism keeps black unemployment high. Sexism stunts women's careers. Affirmative action and anti-discrimination laws are needed, but the orthodoxy soon began to incorporate an intellectual movement that gained momentum in the mid-1960s with the publication of The Social Construction of Reality by Peter L. Berger and Thomas Luckman. The authors were dealing with an ancient problem. Each of us thinks we know what reality is, but different people have different perceptions of it. The sociologist is forced by the very logic of his discipline to ask, if nothing else, whether the difference between the two realities may not be understood in relation to various differences between the two societies, wrote Berger and Luckman. This beginning, written in plain English, perfectly sensible, morphed during the 1970s and 1980s into the orthodox position that just about everything is a social construct, often argued in postmodern prose that is incomprehensible to all but the elect. The sources of human inequalities are artificial, made up, a reflection of the particular reality that a dominant